Hey everyone, it's Finch here. So I'm gonna be doing a predictions video for the first round of the World Cup of Pokemon. As I just plug in my computer, so I don't run out of battery in the middle of this. But yeah, just had some people that kind of requested predictions from me, even after the SPL fiasco with predictions. I mean, I had fun with it. Others had fun with it, so that's the bottom line. But yeah, and I just didn't really feel like writing it all out, considering the fact that there's so many matches in World Cup, so many groups, and I don't like doing just kind of like the bolded italics thing because, I mean, it's kind of mindless, and I like to get my thoughts out there, as many people know. So without further ado, I'll get into this. Yeah, so this is World Cup 2018. I'm on Team Northeast, which is a new team, and so I'm not going to be doing much on our matches, but I'll try to cover our groups, like people that aren't on our team, and just some rough predictions there. But anyway, this is the cool badass logo made by Life is Dank. I really like it. Yeah, Groudon, Kyogre kind of stuff, and the thread is up by Hickory and Hog and no Hikari. I don't know how to pronounce it, but Hog and he are hosting it. So that's pretty interesting. And without further ado, yeah, spreadsheet schedule soon, blah, 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 stuff on scheduling, and now you said pairing. So I'm going to start with SMOU as I just postponed the alarm on my phone. Okay, yeah. I'm going to start with SMOU and just work my way down. I'm probably not going to go all the way down to ADV. I'll probably just do the tiers that I am familiar with. So SM, definitely Black White, probably Oras, DPP as well. So the first group is a pretty cool group. It consists of Gondra, Corey 2600, Malekith, and Analytic. All four pretty competent players. SPL level. I mean, Malekith is more known for old generations, but he's had two fantastic SM OST runs, so he's got to be seen as somewhat of a threat, even if he's kind of ratchet. Analytic has been a new gen player dating back to Oras days, and although he didn't win in the tiebreaker against Gen Zeon of Team Austria, the preliminary stage, he did play pretty all right, and he just kind of had a rough matchup, maybe a sketchy team choice given the opponent, but I don't know the background. I'm not too good at Oras team building myself, so I'm not going to comment on that, but he's also a respectable player. He's been purchased in SPL and Snake, although mostly a substitute type player, but he's one of the better starters on Asia, so it's definitely someone to look out for. And on top of that, we've also got Gondra, someone who played in both Snake and SPL with mediocre to decent results. He's got some tendencies to misplay and overthink things, but he also has a really high ceiling in terms of making predictions. He's overall a very good player in my opinion, but sometimes he kind of tilts downwards. So if he can be consistently at the top of his game, I see him doing well, but otherwise I could see him struggling against some stronger players in the pool. And then finally, Corey 2600 of the French, another pretty good player, a bit more consistent than Gondra, but also probably a lower ceiling. Corey is capable of beating anyone, but I feel like against top players or against guys that are consistently like doing better than him, he's going to struggle. Whereas he'll consistently beat lower ended players. So I think that I'll see Corey probably beating Analytic, just because I think that he's just a bit better than him. But I think against the other two, it's going to be hard. Malekith because he's such a veteran and can come out on top against anyone, and Gondor just because I think Gondor's skill ceiling is just a bit higher. I'm going to say that Corey's probably going to go 1-2 or 2-1. As for the winner of the group, I think I'm going to go with Gondor. I think he's going to go 2-1 or maybe even 3-0. And I think Analytic's probably going to go 1-2, and Malekith. Eh, I think Analytic is kind of in an unfavorable spot against other three, but I think I'll probably take one, probably against Malekith or Corey. But as for Malekith himself, I see him probably going 2-1. I mean, this group's pretty even. We've got four really decent, slightly above average players in this pool. So yeah, I'm gonna say Gondra's gonna win. I'll say Corey or Malekith second, and I think that every player in this group is gonna win a game. I think it's gonna be all 2-1s and 1-2s. But yeah, I'll give Gondra the slight edge over the rest. Although all four are solid players. The next group we get a bit more World Cup feely. Really only one SPL level player here in Empo. However, Ema, also known as Porkchop Man, is definitely not someone to laugh at. He's a solid player, and Relis has had success, I think, in Oras last year, but don't quote me on that. I know he's German, so he's not bad either. So Naired, I know he's an OU room guy. I think he's part of FPOA. Not really familiar with him as a player, but he's probably just like okay. I'm gonna just say it outright now that I think Empo is gonna win the group, and I think Ema, also known as Porkchop Man, gonna go 2-1, and then probably Relis 1-2, and Sonaired 0-3. But I mean, you could switch those up as well. I'm just not too familiar with the UK dude. But Relis, I'm kind of interested because I think he's got potential to take a game off of Ampo and definitely off of Pork Chop Man. But I feel like he ultimately is going to struggle just to outplay them because I think that Pork Chop Man, while he might not be misplay free, he also is not afraid to like click the aggressive button. He's one of those kind of mid range players that has a high ceiling and a very low floor. And if his players are on right there, and he could take a game off of any of these guys, and I think that he just kind of averages out to a bit above where I regard Relish. But I'm not entirely familiar with both of these, so I could be wrong. But Empo is a clear favorite in this group, and I think he's going to end up on 3-0. And if not, then at least 2-1, maybe dropping game to Ema or Relish if things just don't go his way in terms of matchup or RNG. But without further ado, just going to favor Empo and then Ema in that group, or I don't know how it's pronounced, sorry. Going to the third group, we've got Mysterious M, Energy, Brofist, and Bab. Bab is false in this group. Yeah, okay, don't mind that. So I'm not gonna be predicting too much about this group because Brofist is my teammate, also my SPL teammate. Yeah, I'm stuck with this fucker. Well, I guess he's stuck with me because I drafted him in the first place. But anyway, definitely gonna predict Energy to be the slight favorite over Mysterious M and False. If only because Laurel just has the highest outplaying potential, the highest ceiling of all three. But I think that Laurel also has tendencies to use pretty sketchy teams. So I'm gonna hope and say that he either has his teams checked by TDK or maybe just has a better sense of SM than he does like Oras because he was using like Assault Vest, Metagross, plus Dragology, and that shit just isn't like I. That's just not like a thing in Oras. So yeah, and I'm gonna say probably goes 2-1, or if not, then 1-2. I think John's gonna win the group, but I'm not predicting that. But I think he's gonna get at least 2 wins energy. Yeah, let's go with that. I think False will probably end up in the middle of the pack, and then Mysterious Sam is probably gonna struggle. Although I know he's known more for Ubers and like old generations like RBY. I know he played on Pokemon Perfect, but I mean he's not a bad player. He's just not known for SM. And I know that Greece has their weird stuff with like not using Landorus and whatnot. So yeah, it's kind of hard to predict him. I think he's going to struggle in this group. You've got 4 kind of competent players, but the last 3 stand out. It's OU mains and Energy is the only one that really has consistent success. So yeah, I'm gonna favor Energy over the other two and just not gonna comment on Brofist for the time being. So we're gonna scroll down now. All right, so we've got Bush Tush, the guy that wants to be men's meat. Life Orb Shohei Otani Toyotas, also known as Choice Banded Jose Altuve Corvettes, also known as Meeps, and Jimmy Churchwig. So I'm going to favor Jimmy Churchwig in this group just because he's been playing a really good game as of late. He beat me in both Black and White and DPP Cup. He's just a really consistent, solid player, and I think that he's kind of peaking at this point in time. I actually think he's a real threat in Classic playoffs. Like, I think behind like the M Dragon, Ojama, and potentially McMegan if he makes it kind of dudes. I think that he's like the next tier in the Classic playoffs. So I mean, I think that that skill could easily translate to SMLU, especially with the support that he has on this roster. Europe is a really friendly team; they all talk with each other, so I think he's going to do well here. As for next, it's kind of a toss up between Meeps and Bush Tush. They both have their faults. Bush Tush is kind of your generic button clicker that doesn't understand risk versus reward at a high level, whereas Meeps, on the other hand, really kind of tries to overanalyze to the point where I think it's to a fault, essentially, because once he kind of gets like overwhelmed or like feels weird or over too comfortable about a late game, he kind of just mishandles it and throws it away sometimes. And honestly, I think that a lot comes down to if Meeps can kind of keep his composure throughout the entire game. And if he can't, I'm going to favor him. But otherwise, I'm going to favor Bush Tush. And I think that the Brazilian dude is just kind of going to fall off. He's facing 3 SPL level players, and he just isn't really known. So I can't really speak to his level, unfortunately. I'll say he'll go 1-2, maybe 0-3. Same for Bush Tush, but Bush Tush has a greater chance of going 2-1, whereas Meeps I expect to go 2-1, and Jimmy probably 3-0, if not then 2-1. All of these guys are probably capable. I know that the Brazilian dude, even he did pretty well in the OUPL, or at least started throughout it. But yeah, I'm just not too sure on him compared to the other dudes that are kind of sure thing. So we're gonna go with that. Another group of mine here, High being my teammate. It actually is pronounced high, like the word high. So that's a cool thing to know. I've asked around about that. He's facing off against Mincy, JYT Campbell, and Vilusa. Not going to speak about high, but I think that of these 3, I think that JYT and Vilusa are probably the most well equipped, but Mency isn't someone to sleep on. I know he's another guy that was on the German team last year that gave East a run for their money in the first round of the playoffs when East went on to win the tour. So that's really not a guy to sleep on, although I just don't know enough about him to really back him. Whereas JYT, respectable running classic, beating a lot of really good opponents. But on top of that, he's been grinding in SMOU for a while now. I'm actually friendly with him. I actually stole his avatar by accident for him once, the Thumper avatar. But yeah, he's a good guy, and I think he's a pretty strong player, and I think he's really determined. Whereas Vilusa, a lot of people give him shit, kind of. Um, hmm. I don't know how to put this, but like he's known for being this like clicker who uses weird shit and kind of like is like on no touch. But I think he's actually pretty decent, and I think Vilusa could like be considered as like a substitute for like a Snake or an SPL, for example. And I think he's going to use this World Cup to really demonstrate that. So I actually see him going 2-0 against these two guys, and I think JYT goes 1-1, and Menzi kind of suffers. And High definitely has his hands full with Vilusa, JYT, and probably even Menzi, seeing as Menzi did have some experience. But we'll have to wait and see. Um, mm, all right, we're gonna go to the next group in 1 second. I'm just gonna pause. Sorry. I'm sorry about that. I'm back. Oh, I'm just gonna get this off my screen. That is unprofessional. But I'm not a YouTuber. I'm just a guy making predictions in Smogon. I'll eventually post this video for shameless likes, so shouldn't be a big deal. I'm not even gonna edit this shit. Let's get to the next bracket. We've got the Hollows, Lefties, Askov, and Babby. Who the fuck is Babby? I'm gonna go with Googly, but I'm gonna click on his fucking profile. Fuck it. All right, so he played Blunder. Yeah, no, this is Google. Yeah, because he played Blunder for Black White recently. Oh shit, wanted to do predictions. I don't want to flood. Okay, great. Co-flagging the fucking. I don't even know what his fucking name is. You just saw the moderation powers deletion ability. Oh no, I've leaked to the smogon.com interwebs. What will I ever do? Anyway, the Hollows, Lefties, Askov, and the Googly. So Lefties is pretty much the favorite in this group, in my opinion. I don't know who the Hollows is, and Askov, if I recall correctly, is an RMT dude. Maybe not. You know, maybe that's whatever. I don't know. He's Brazilian apparently. Probably not great. Probably not bad either. Probably just like middle of the pack, kind of probably fought his way through a bunch of Brazilians to get the spot. So maybe he's some god. Maybe he's fucking Sogi King for all I know. But my favorite lefties to probably 3-0 the group, and Googly to 2-1. Googly's underrated, and he's got a lot of cool techs up his sleeve. But he also kind of does some weird off-putting shit. So I don't know what to think. I hope for his own sake that he does well because he's been tearing it up in Smackdown Tour qualifying wise till he lost to Black Oblivion. And additionally, in Classic thus far as well, he's easily going to qualify, if I recall correctly. The Hollows I know nothing about. So probably going to predict them to go 3. Let's just say Askov 1-2, Googly 2-1, potentially 3-0, and Lefties the other way around 3-0, potentially 2-1. I think Lefties versus Googly is going to be a good game. But going to favor Lefties just because I think he's better and more experienced overall. But if he's kind of inactive, because I know he's been busy, just based off scheduling with him for Black White Cup. If he's busy, then Googly definitely has a chance because he's probably a bit more active and motivated at the moment. But I think the Frenchmen will get their shit together in round 1 like they normally do. So yeah, that'll be that. Oh hell, oh all right. So Lopani kicks. This guy's actually pretty good. Not gonna lie, he beat me in Smog Tour. Got a bit lucky, but this guy's solid. Lopani kicks. London beats Zamrock and Ultra Balls. Wow, this is actually a pretty cool group. You've got 4 kind of middle of the pack guys. I mean, Zamrock almost assumes the veteran presence um, kind of role in this group, which is kind of odd considering that when you see hear Zamrock's name, you don't really think veteran. You kind of think this fireball, but he's been around for a couple years now. So um, I'm actually going to say that Lopani kicks is looking pretty good. I think that he's got a chance to go into 1 in this group despite facing 2 SPL level players and Ultra Balls, who's good dude. I think this is gonna be another group where we've got 4 kind of 2-1, 1-2 records. I'll say Lopani kicks and Zamrock are most likely to go 2-1. Although I think Zamrock actually might be a bit out of practice in SM. I know that he kind of was contemplating quitting and then kind of came back. I don't know. He does have the team support of TDK, and he also does tend to do well in round 1 of World Cup. Maybe not. I don't know. But Zamrock has put up good records before. I'm not too fond of him as a player, but I also don't think he's bad either. I think he's kind of middle of the pack, and I think that he's got the potential to do well enough here. Um, hmm. Just trying to think. Um, 1 second, I'm gonna pause this. I'm sorry. Oh, sorry, I'm back. All right, so yeah, getting back to this group, it's four pretty good players. Lobany Kickson's underrated. London Beats, I don't really have many thoughts on. Zamrock's all right, but not brilliant. And I think Ultra Ball is up and coming, but still kind of has a bit to be shown as to if he's good, great, or just okay. I'm gonna say that I favor Zamrock and Lopney Kicks to go 2-1, and Ultra Balls and London Beats go 1-2. But I think that Zamrock could easily go 1-2, Ultra Balls easily 2-1, and London Beats, if the right Spanish players are on at the right time, could go 2-1 or even 3-0. Heck, why not? But yeah, Lopney Kicks I think is great. I think that this guy really understands the metagame and how to play, especially the ladder. I don't know if his building's great. Hopefully he's got enough support there, but I think that he's a good player. I think we'll come and see that, and maybe he'll make his way into SPL/World Cup tournaments more so in the future. There's a take. Um, Eternam Blargharfargl. Wow, that one's something. White Queen and Thorn. So Thorn is the best player in this group. Well, let me scratch that. White Queen and Thorn are the best players in this group. Thorn is the best SMOU player in this group, given what we know. However, White Queen does have a way to win so many games with just miraculous strategies and combinations of skillfulness and fishing and everything involved with pocket monsters that we know of to this day. So I'll never count him out. In fact, I think I'm going to say White Queen's going to go 2-1. Thorn is going to go 2-1 and they're 3-0 as well. And the thing is that Eternam and Blarg aren't bad either. Both of them are kind of trying to make their way into the scene. Blarg, I think, won or came in finals of the Smog Tour recently. He's also been doing pretty well in OUPL. Eternam's playing OUPL as well. I think he's doing okay. Also had a decent OST run. Beat M Dragon, in fact. I think I'm gonna favor Thorn and White Queen, just probably Thorn to win, White Queen comes second. And from there I'll say Eternam is probably a bit better than Blarg, just given what I know. But both of them are probably in 1-2 territory, give or take. I'd be surprised to see any of them go 0 for 3, just because all of them are capable, and the game is what it is. But Blarg is probably the most likely to go, and then Eternam. I don't think White Queen or Thorn are going to go negative in this group. Yeah, 4 decent players, but there's definitely a difference between them. Thorn being the highest ceiling and most experienced of them in SM, and I think that if Thorn comes back in form, then he'll do well. But that is a bit of an if, and I think Europe is the right environment to kind of foster that. So also he's pretty likely to give him the benefit of the doubt. Next group we've got Zidane, Ham. No, 4 hams. Ham. Yep, 4 hams. All right, so ham. FMG and Frania. Okay, that's interesting. Frania starting for Europe is just kind of weird. I got a notification. Oh, Leroux. Okay. NUPL scheduling. I'll deal with later. Frania is kind of weird because he's like a good instinctual player, but I think that he's got tendencies to kind of throw games away. And I've heard that about him in doubles too, which is why he hasn't been like in as many. I mean, that and his attitude, it kind of just puts him at odds with the community. But I think that if Frania kind of cleans up his act and also cleans up his late game mindset, then I think he's actually going to go 2-1 in this group. I think that he'll beat Ham, and Zidane. I think that Zidane is actually not bad. I know I saw him in OUPL, but I also know Ham isn't either. I played him in a couple of like smaller tournaments. He's not bad. So I think that between those two dudes, one will go 0-3, one will go 1-2, and I think FMG is actually my favorite in this group. I think he'll end up going 2-1. I think that he and Frani will probably both go 2-1. Maybe FMG 3-0, and other guys will struggle. Wow, what the fuck is this? So we've got this guy named Matter of the Dark One. Interesting, very, very interesting. I'm not quite sure who he is. I'm not quite sure what team he's on, but he is named Matter of the Dark One. Okay, cool. SMOU number 10, Matter of the Dark One. We've also got Bluebird, the Greek player, who hasn't been on since. Oh, that's not him. He probably has another name. He's got like a letter, a number in his name rather. And Sacredy, the French player, and also Miltank Milk. So first and foremost, I think Sacredy is the best player by a significant margin. I also know he's been making strides in SMOU. I think that's going to pay off. I actually think he's going to go with Rio in this group. I think that the number 2 in this group is going to be between Miltank Milk and Bluebird. I don't know who Matter of the Dark One really is. Sorry, buddy. But yeah, I think I'm going to lead on Miltank Milk just because I know he's been showing a lot of signs of being an aggressive player. And I think that aggressive players tend to get rewarded in games of two kind of mediocre, middle of the pack players. And I think Miltank really cares a lot about this World Cup. That he's kind of one of the leaders of this Midwest team. And I think he's eager to do well. So I'm going to say he's going to go 2-1. Bluebird's probably going to go 1-2, but that could flip flop. And the Matter of the Dark one is kind of left in the dark. Oh, it just killed me. Next group is another one of my dudes. So I'm not going to comment too much on Spella, although I think he's great and handsome and beautiful, and he's the cheese master of them all. Oh, the rain master of them all, rather. But I think that Trosco, given that he's somehow not banned despite blatantly ghosting last World Cup, wow, that grinds my gears. Anyway, I think Trosco is the best player of the three remaining by a large margin. I'm familiar with Heck. I believe he's Brazilian. I don't think he's great. He's kind of the guy that you play in these tours, and one thing doesn't go his way, and then the rest of the game kind of falls apart, and he doesn't say good game at the end, and that's that. Um, I'm just don't think he's really that good. Um, I do think that he might be better than YJH971203. I think this guy was typing his phone number and then hit the left arrow key with his elbow and then fell on his keyboard, and that's what became his username. I don't know what this is. Maybe his name's initials is like YH, and then he's like those like his favorite. I don't know. Let's see. Does this guy have like any posts? He's got 39 messages. 2016 join date. All right, so he's at least views forums. But yeah, no, I don't think very highly of this guy at the moment. Just I don't know him. So I'm gonna say that Trosco's gonna go 2-0 against these guys. Trosco versus Sabella is a great match, by the way. Um, But yeah, so I'm gonna say that Hack will go 1-1 of these two. Trosco 2-0, and YJH whatever is gonna go 0-2. Next group is also another group, but first I'm gonna pause once more just to answer a question. Sorry. We back. Okay, yeah. All right, so we got Tricking, who I'm actually pretty high on. Swappa, whatever. John Yu. Oh no, not him. And King Biddy. Let's see which one this is. Um, Gypsy King. Okay, so that's. Oh, great. We're back to this gay shit. Fuck this ocean name thing. I used to be pretty cool with it, but now it's just kind of getting annoying. Sorry, false. I told you it was cool. I might have lied. Anyway, so you got Tricking, Suba, whatever the fuck it is, John Yu, and Gypsy King. Actually familiar with all four of these guys, and I think that John Yu has his hands full. I think that normally with his gimmicky playstyle and his quirky view on risk versus rewards, I think he'd be able to pilot himself to at least a win or two in a weaker group. But I think that this group is a bit no nonsense, and I think that his nonsense might not be tolerable. I think that he's actually going to struggle to collect a single win in this group, which is kind of bad for Team Asia, as they really do need their new generation wins, as they do have some holes throughout their lineup. Regardless of that, I think Tricking is going to dominate this group. I pencil him as a 3-0. Gypsy King versus Upa is a kind of coin flip for second. And I'm going to favor the latter just because I think that Team Canada has some camaraderie going. And I think that they might turn it around this year. Probably not enough to make the playoffs, but I don't know. We'll see. They kind of always fall short, be it by large margins or just short by a couple games. But I think that Upa is a nice guy. I think he gave me a real run for my money in Snake. I got lucky against him. Sorry for that. But yeah, good player, not great. Um, I think that John Yu is going to go 3. Gypsy King's going to go 1-2. Gypsy King's not bad, but he kind of brings weird shit. And I mean, he's on Team OCN, so he doesn't have the best support foundation either. But yeah, Tricking's group for sure, in my opinion. Let's go down. We've got Light Hands, Snow Yu, Choice Banded Umbreon, and Eternal Spirit. Wow, Light Hands versus Eternal Spirit's a cool game for round 1, and Snow being in the kicker is also neat. We've got 3 SPL level players, 2 of them being mid to high level SPL, and then we've got a choice banded Umbreon who's going to go over 3 probably. CPU versus Snow might be a bit of a match because both of them bring quirky shit, and sometimes that could just kind of boil down to matchup solely. But yeah, regardless of that, Eternal Spirit is my current favorite just because he has a bit more experience in SMLU, but Lycans can easily take that. I think both of them are going to end up going 2-1 just because I think Snow might take a game off of them. You know what? I'll say Snow will go 1-2 or 2-1 as well, and CBU is probably going to go 0-3 or 1-2. Someone does have to lose in this group, and I think that he's the worst of the bunch. Although he did give Brofist a run for his money last year, very close game. So don't count him out either. I think 1-2 is definitely possible, but I think that he won't go positive. Um, all right, 1 second. Another question being asked me in Discord. All right, so we back. Ooh, hypercam in the way. Yeah, I use hypercam. Fuck with me. So yeah, CBU is just kind of in over his head. Eternal Spirit's the favorite. Like Hands is definitely really close there. I could see either them going 3-0 or 2-1. Snow 2-1, 1-2. CBU 1-2-0-3. Now we've got the best SMOU group. It's not even up for debate. This group is fantastic. I like this group a lot. C. Dumas, Zamag, Fleming Victini, FLCL. C. Dumas, Fleming Victini, FLCL, all could be considered top 10 SMU players, and Zamag is just right there. He's probably top 20, top 30 as well. He went positive in SPL, although he kind of did get lucky. But he knows his shit and knows how to build. And I think that all 4 of these players are going to win games. I think Zamag probably going to end up 1-2 though. I think C. Dumas is the favorite by a slight margin, followed by Fleming Victini, followed by FLCL. I think that it's going to be like a 2-1. I think C. Dumas will probably lose to FLCL. FLCL will probably lose to Fleming Victini, and Fleming Victini will probably lose to C. Dumas. And then one of the 3 will also lose to Zamog. So we'll get Zamog plus probably FLCL at 1-2, because FLCL always does poorly in World Cup. So yeah. So I think those 2 both will go 1-2. Yeah, no. Okay, that's perfect. That means Zamog's going to beat FLCL, lose to the other 2. Fuck, sorry, Fooly. Yeah, I think that Zamog FLCL is going to go 1-2. C2 Mass and FE are going to go 2-1. I think that I think C2 Mass is going to lose head-to-head to FE, so FE takes the group. But really, both of them are fantastic players. FLCL is probably the best overall player of the bunch, but not necessarily SME specific. And he can kind of click sometimes, but I still think FLCL is great, really high skill player. So he could definitely take the group too, but I just know he's got a bad history in World Cup. So let's not cross our fingers quite yet. But yeah, this is the best group. I'm definitely excited to see these games, and whatever I say now cannot do justice to it sufficiently. Anyway, Ledna, the second half of the ghosting duo from Team Spain last year, who really shouldn't be allowed, but I guess that's not 100% proof. It just annoys me. Black Oblivion, Leru, and Last Abidu, which I believe is Last Hurrah, the OST alt that isn't really an alt, but everyone likes to call it an alt because we don't accept new players around here. Black Oblivion is the favorite, in my opinion. Ledna, I'll pencil in at 2-1. Last Dabidu, also known as Last Draw, 1-2, but he's closer to 2-1 than 0-3. And Leru, I think, is going to struggle. He's not an SMOU main, but I mean, I think Black Oblivion being the favorite is really the only thing I'm too sure on. Ledna showed a lot of high ceiling potential during SPL, but then he kind of fell off later on. He also used some weird shit like Blitzcephalon twice and Webs once with Blitzcephalon. And that shit just worries me. So yeah, I don't think I'm gonna favor him over BO, but I think I'll favor him over the other 2. And Last Hurrah, I mean, just going off OSG, he's definitely competent. He could just end up fucking the whole group up and sweeping and being like the best SMU player of all time, but I don't think that's entirely likely. I think he'll end up probably going 1-2. Last group, we've got One True Lycan, Fruit Dealer, my boy Adam, ABR, who I'm not going to be discussing because he's my teammate, and Avon. Of those 4, I'm going to predict that I'm not going to predict ABR. Of those 3, I think Avon is the best, but I'm also very biased there. I think that he has an incredible understanding of the metagame and team building, and I think his gameplay is about on par with Fruit Dealer and definitely above the level of One True Lycan, who just has kind of flirted with mediocrity for a long time now and never really stood out. So it's kind of hard. Fruit Dealer has had his moments. He's definitely a World Cup starting caliber player, and I think Avon as well. So I think that those 2 will both fight for the 2-0 among these 3, with the other one going 1-1 and One True Lycan going 0-3. And I think that all 3 are kind of struggle against ABR, but I mean, I'm not going to predict my own dude, so we'll have to wait and see how that goes. ABR is the GOAT, though, and he's also a fucking fire as teammate thus far, which is cool. But yeah, I'm really actually looking forward to ABR versus Avon, just because 2 guys that I've worked with the most in SMOU. Obviously rooting for my guy ABR here, but cool game. And I think Avon versus Fruit Dealer actually is going to be a bit underrated too. I know that this is like not like a fantastic group per se, aside from ABR, but I think that 3 of these dudes can really play the game, or at least play the tier. I mean, I think Fruit Dealer can really play the game, and Avon really knows the tier, so I think it's kind of a cool dynamic. We'll see some decent middle of the pack games here. All right, so we're gonna get to Oras now. We've got this Nane, who's back after kind of all over the place SPL, where he showed his very high highs but also low lows. Psychic Mewtwo, who in my opinion is one of the most consistent underrated kind of dark horse players out there. Dodman, who, well, he's here. I mean, he's kind of a UU dude, but he's here. And Babito, who's snowy. I think that Psychic Mewtwo is the favorite in the group, and I think that just given his name's Aura's presence and footprint, he's likely to go 2-1, but he could really go anything. He could beat Psychic Mewtwo and just play out of his mind ridiculous high ceiling, or he could just kind of button click his way to a 1-2 or 0-3. But I'm going to say that 2-1 is the healthy middle ground. I think that's kind of like the median. Like, yeah, I think that's right where he belongs. I think Dodman is just better than Snowy as a player. And Snowy also tends to throw games away. I think this group isn't amazing, but it's good enough where 3 of these guys are respectable players, and I think they're just all a tier above Snowy. So I think Dodman is 1-2, but potential to go 2-1. I think Psychic Mewtwo will be too much for him, though. And yeah, I think Snowy's going to go 3. I really want to see what Dodman ends up bringing in terms of Whereas teams, because it really could determine his fate and potentially the fate of Midwest, who definitely needs to get all the wins they can get. Next group is my team's group as well. We've got Mount, Santu, Dated Kanto, and Pogus. Kanto, I'm not going to speak on because he's my teammate, but that guy is fly as shit. Santu, underrated player. Not many know of him. Does really well in lower tiers, especially with stall and in like these like seasonal or like seeded tournament settings. He just dominated for a couple months, and I think he's in the NUPL now, doing all right. Pogus, a kind of a journeyman, played a lot of tiers, Ubers and NU and officials, and has done decently pretty well. I think that he's a great player overall, though, but I'm not sure how the transition to OU is going to be. And Mounts is just one of the better OU players out there, specifically Auras main, playing for Team France. I think Mounts will beat both Santu and Pogus, and I think that Pogus is favored against Santu. So, yeah, I'm going to say 2-0 Mounts, 1-1 Pogus, and 0-2 Santu, but all 4 of these guys can play. All 3 of the guys I'm talking about can play. Santu should not really be like disgruntled. He's a hard group, and I think all these guys can play. And I'm kind of like curious to see Santu Pogus, because I think it'll be a pretty close game. And hell, even Mounts versus these guys. I mean, I'm curious to see what they're going to bring, and I'm really curious to see how Santu plays. Definitely some really entertaining matches here, and I think Oras is kind of seen as like the golden generation at the moment. So definitely hyped for this, and also the communal reaction to whatever we have to see. The next group is kind of a bit all over the place. We've got Badummy, who I believe is an ADV main, but he doesn't really have any like too noteworthy results. But a lot of people say he's good. But now he's an Oras, so kind of interesting to see how he will react to this. I think he's a capable overall player, but I don't think he's really favored in Oras. However, he does play Laz, a Greek player who kind of took a bit of time off, if I recall correctly. He's on my ROBL team recently. I haven't seen him before then since the last World Cup, and he didn't really shock anyone in ROPL. He's just kind of mediocre, but he has had a couple good World Cup games, so I think I'll favor Dummy against those 2, but in terms of the other 2, I think that Axel and Blunder are the clear favorites in the group. So I think I'll put a Dummy at 1-2, Laz at 0-3. I'm not incredibly high on Blunder as a player because I think that sometimes he kind of forgets risk versus reward and almost tunnel visions in the sense that, oh, I think X is going to happen, so my play is going to make sure that if X does happen, then I'm going to be in an advantageous position. But he forgets that if Y happens instead of X, then he's kind of screwed. And it's kind of like those one turns where like you make that double switch and it looks like really cool if one thing happens, but then they stay in an attack and you're kind of fucked. That kind of thing. I think there are a couple of examples against in SPL. It was kind of funny how when TGK played both Blunder and CBB, they kind of, I don't want to say clicked, but they kind of put themselves in a bad position, whereas TDK just kind of stayed cool and played his game and ended up emerging victorious. I just think that sometimes he needs to maybe look for a bit more middle grounds or conservative routes because he has the outplaying potential to outplay literally anyone on this planet. You name him, it's possible. He's beaten dudes like ABR and Smog Tour before. He's got a lot of great quality wins, but he also has some kind of losses. And I think Blunder's a good player with solid fundamentals, but he just needs to not get too far ahead of himself. And then I think that he will emerge victorious against Axel, who's A, kind of needs to prove himself again. He's been out of the game for a while or just simply inactive. And B, I don't know if he still has a grasp on Oros like he did back a couple of SPLs ago. But just given activity and ceiling, I think that Blunder's got one of the highest ceilings of any OU players out there right now, so I'm going to favor him. But I also think his floor is low, so if he fucks around, he'll fucks around. But I think he'll go 3-0 for the second straight year in group stages. I think Axel will go 2-1 just because he's simply better than the other 2 by a large margin. But if he fucks around, he could get activity like subbed out or whatever. So you don't know. Axel's kind of a question mark in my eyes. But yeah, I'm going to favor Blunder in the group. But there is kind of a risk or a warning that comes alongside that. So let's wait and see how that goes. Um, hmm. All right. Last Oras group, then I'll do Black White PPP, then we'll be done. We've got TDK, my boy, Chill Shadow, also my boy, Lighthouses, guy who beat me in Oras a couple World Cups ago, and X-Ray, my boy. Wow, cool group. I like these guys a lot. Actually, all four are pretty chill guys. X-Ray was my SPL player. I'm kind of fond of his game, but I think that TDK is probably the group's favorite. I think this is yeah, this is the best Oras group of them all. I think there's some pretty cool matches. I think we should be excited about seeing the games in this group. X-Ray is a fine player. I think that he's got some really cool ideas, and sometimes he tries a bit too hard to make them work, but ultimately he's solid. And I think you could pencil him in for a 2-1 here. I think that he's favored against Chill Shadows and Lighthouses. TDK versus him is kind of like a 55-45 game, but I'd favor TDK just because I think he's the better overall player. But given X-Ray's ability to kind of see through matchups. And I know that sounds like a weird thing, but I really think he brought some great teams for his opponents in SPL. I mean, a couple bad ones too, but some great ones. And I think that X-Ray is just a fine player. I think that's definitely possible, but I think that he'll go 2-1. I don't think TDK is necessarily going to go 3-0 either, though. Chill Shadow is by no means an easy opponent, and Lighthouses knows how to play the game too. Although he does have tendencies to kind of mess up later on in the games. I think he kind of needs to just like be confident in himself, and then Lighthouses is going to win some. But in this group, I think it's hard to be confident when your opponents are so good. So it's kind of a catch-22 for him. But I think Lighthouse is going to struggle. I'll put him at 1-2. I'll say Chill Shadow is probably going to 1-2-2 just because he's playing two really hardcore dedicated Oras mains where he's branched out about lower tiers. I guess TDK also plays whatever, but like TDK has just been one of the better Oras players for a while now. I'll put TDK at 2-1, maybe 3-0, and X-Ray probably at a solid 2-1. But yeah, this group really exciting. Looking forward to TDK versus Chill Shadow, TDK versus X-Ray, and X-Ray versus TDK, and X-Ray versus Chill Shadow. And Lighthouses, I don't know what to expect. If Lighthouse brings good teams, because I know he has a lot in ORAS in the past, a lot of history, he brings good teams, and I'm also excited to see his games too. But I don't know. Brazil's got cooked up, so that's kind of a question mark. Not going to comment too much, but I like seeing him play. I think that these guys at all four are just solid, and I want to see this group's games for sure. Let's go back to black white, down to black white rather. We've got the best group in the tournament. I'm going to wager to say at least among the first three. I mean, there are two really good RBY groups, one pretty solid ADV group that turned out to me. And that one SM group of death. But this is my favorite group in the tournament. We've got the big three here: Pasho, McMegan, and Solwind. You could definitely, if you were to rank the black white players, all three of these guys would be in my top five. It'd be these three: Dice, and well, either myself, Peachy, or Zoro Dark, I guess. Yeah, let's go with that. I'm not ranking myself though, so well, whatever. But these three are like really good fucking players. Is my point, and we're gonna have really good games. And unfortunately, the odd man out is Sugar High, who I think is probably gonna end up with an unfortunate 0-3. He's a quirky black white player with a good metagame sense, but I think sometimes he goes too far out of his way to cater to his own ideas, and he sacrifices consistency and the ability to kind of work his way around adverse situations against bad matchups to the extent where these players are going to be able to take advantage of that given their ability to recognize metagame trends and consistent weaknesses of their opponents, especially considering that all three of their ceilings are much higher than Sugar High's. I think Sugar High is kind of middle to a bit below average, whereas the other three are just superb. Pasho himself is a great player, but he has struggled with building consistently. And I do think that he's going to end up stumbling as one of McMegan or Solwind in terms of just using a team worse than the opponent. But I think that his outplaying potential is actually probably the highest of the three. So I think that Pasha is going to end up going 2-1. I think he'll take one of McMegan or Solon, but not both. And I think he's also going to beat Sugar High. I actually think that all three of these guys are going to go 2-1. I think they're going to beat each other up. I think McMegan is actually the most likely to go 1-2 of the bunch, which is kind of hard to say because you could arguably say that McMegan is the best black-white player of all time, or at least at the moment. But he does kind of have a low floor in a sense that he can bring wacky shit, or he could just kind of not be on one day and or not be on for the tournament. And he just has his off moments. But at the end of the day, I think that Pasho is probably gonna. I thought Pasho was gonna beat Solwyn because he beat him in SPL, lost to McMegan in SPL. I think that McMegan will beat Pasho, and I think that Solwyn will beat McMegan. Just because Solwyn kind of does match up well with McMegan, because McMegan is kind of an equal opportunity risk taker from the team building standpoint, in a sense, whereas Solwind uses some bad teams in my opinion, but he's just a really good black white player. Like you see his game against Brofist, he was like he's just all over the place against John and just kind of took his shit in black white. That was good. Although I didn't agree with one or two moves made in that game. That was good. Solon's just great. Now, and John is a good black white player too, by the way. But Solomon just showed that he really this is his year. He's making no nonsense. But I think that Pasha kind of matched up well with him actually, because Pasha was this weird, quirky, bulky core thing going, and Solomon kind of tries to take a no nonsense approach to those players, whereas Solomon matches up well against more of the bulky offensive type, like myself, if you will. So yeah, I just think Pasha is going to beat McMegan. McMegan's going to beat Pasha. Solomon's going to beat McMegan. All three of those will beat Sugar High. So 2-1. 2-1, 2-1, 0-3. Let's see how very wrong I am, because hint, it's going to be wrong. It's just always wrong with me. Anyway, we've got Tox, Asuya, Lax, Pleasure. Kind of an average to slightly below average black-white group here. Tox used to be a great black-white player, actually, but now he kind of just has this affinity to use a lot of just rain offense. I think there's a lot of Gyarados, Starmie, Latios, Ferrothorn, Politoed, Jirachi kind of shit in there. Ground type sometimes as well. And I think he's going to use that once, if not twice. And then I'll probably just use other like Standard, Weatherless, or Sand. Maybe he'll kind of catch up to time and use an Excadrill. I don't know, but Tox has just kind of been out of it for a while, and I wonder if he'll come in the business. I think he's going to go 1-2, though. I think Asuya and Pleasure are my favorites in the group, but Lax is a kind of a wild card, because I think Lax should beat anyone in any given day in black-white, but I just don't think he's a tier main enough to really kind of give him credit. But again, Asuya is really the only main. I'm going to say that Tox is going to go 1-2. Asuya, I think I favor against Pleasure just slightly, so I think he'll take the group. But that could really go either way. If Conflict is like not using 2008 shit, 2012 shit rather, sorry, it's black white, not DPP, then I think that he's the highest like rated overall player. But yeah, I'm gonna say Asuya 2-1. I think that he'll end up losing to Lax or Tox actually, and I think that the other one of those two will beat the other one of them. Like, okay, so I think Asuya will beat Pleasure and then will go 1-1 against Tox plus Lax. I think that whoever beat Asuya is going to end up losing to the other one of those two being Tox and Lax. So they both go 1-2, and then Pleasure will beat both of them but lose to Asuya. So 1-2, 2-1, 1-2, 2-1, let's say. Kind of my middle ground solution to this group. But in reality, I mean, there could be a 3-0 or an 0-3. I think that actually, Tox is probably the most likely to go 0-3, only because we don't know if he's been out of it or not. And I think that Asuya is the most likely to go 3-0, just he kind of does have these surprise, like, wowie performances. But Conflict, in terms of player, probably is the highest ceiling, so that's also plausible as well. We've got my group, which I'm not going to say anything on in terms of predictions, but I think that Peachy is a really respectable opponent. Looking forward to playing her once again. We played twice in SPL. I beat her once kind of clean, the other time not so clean. Sorry about that, but really looking forward to playing you again. You're a really cool team builder and a great player, a long time. Predate me and my level of competency and like participation. Ace 11, underrated dude. I really liked what the Greeks have done with their old generation. They've kind of made something out of nothing, and he very much is something. He's a respectable opponent. And Smurf, another creative team builder, really offensive, cool dude. I don't know what to expect here. I mean, there's some really weird shit you've tested against me, so we'll definitely have to see. I'm looking forward to playing you, though. We've had some good games in the past. So yeah, hopefully all our past beef is aside and we have a good game, man. Good luck to all three of you, and looking forward to some good games. And then we've got another group which kind of high highs, low lows, and then Tokyo Tom. We've got Tokyo Tom, Sandcastle, Dice, and Zero Dark, my boy. Dice is a favorite in this group, just given SPL, but Zoro Dark, I think I'll put 2, Tokyo Tom 3, and Sandcastle, why are you in Black White OU? Yeah, so I'm going to put Tokyo Tom at 1-2, Zoro Dark at 2-1, Dice at 3-0, Sandcastle, why are you in Black White OU? I don't really want to talk too much, but I think Dice has a great grasp on the metagame, and he's also kind of determined to continue to dominate after SPL, where Zorodark's activity is indeed faltered. However, he still does have the fundamentals in teams and just a simple raw playing ability to do well enough to outpilot Tokyo Tom. However, that game is going to have a really weird team preview, I feel. Zorodark's going to pull some head-ass shit out because he's been kind of tending to do that more so than falling back on his Jellicent, Mienshao, Amoonguss, Skarmory, Tyranitar round same teams, whereas Tokyo Tom can use kind of whatever, but he kind of falls on this bulky balance. I think Zoro will just rip him apart without playing if he can stay at the level he was during like early SPL. As opposed to lately, I think he's kind of been on tilt. So yeah, I'll favor Zorodark slightly, but I could see Tokyo Tom Zorodark going either way. I think Dice is still the clear favorite in the group though. Now DPP just to finish this off, we've got well, I'm gonna zoom in. Whoop de doo. We've got Vileman, Soulgazer, August, Perennian. That's my dude's group. August, my man. Holla. Ooh. Vileman, I don't know why he's in DVP. I love Vileman. He's one of my older friends on here, dating back to SPL 6, but I just don't think he's fantastic. Um, Soulgazer, good player. I don't know why he's in DVP. I guess he's got Osgood's help. And Prengen, who a legend, but he's kind of washed up. I think Vileman's probably going to go 0-3. Sorry, buddy, but I think you're just kind of outclassed by playing ability and like your competencies. I think that Soulgazer is actually going to be go 2-1 or 2-2-0 against these three. Sorry. And Prengen's probably going to go 1-1. I think Prengen is TV Rock is going to be Vileman, but Soulgazer will be both. He's going to be really prepared and active and whatnot, whereas Raka is kind of a big question mark. But Raka could sure as hell turn that game the other way around, so we'll wait and see. Other group, we've got Ace Matador, Raspberry, Tamahome, and the Grand Babito, also known as Heist. Wow, cool group. We've got some really good matchups if it's 2010, 2012. But we also have some cool matchups in 2018. Tama versus anyone is intriguing to me. I really want to see Tama Heist. I think Tama is going to take the group, though, followed by Heist, followed by AM, followed by Raspberry. Raspberry isn't bad, though. I could see him taking a game off of Heist or even AM. But he kind of does use some weird shit. Like, I know Donut played him in OUPL and pointed out some trends about him as a player and just kind of took him to town with some random Doug Trio rain team. So, who knows? But I don't know much about AM or Raspberry in the modern day. I think that Tom Holmes is a favorite and Heist is going to go in second, though. Now we've got the group with three bigs, and then M Dragon's ghosting slot never been more obvious. Because why the fuck is Riku and DPP and not Oras? I guess Axel, but like, why DPP then? Like, uh, and then Poic RBY, like, maybe M Dragon's not ghosting. Maybe Spain's just trying something new. I don't know, but I just don't dig it. And I like my three bigs. I'm gonna say that Honor and Riku both go 1-2, and Donut and EO both go 2-1. Donut and EO are both really good DPP players, in my opinion, underrated. And I'm really high on EO as overall player. I think that he'll edge out Donut, but I think that Donut will beat the other two kind of no nonsense games. I know Donut had a slight edge on Honor in tests during SPL, but I think that Honor will probably beat Riku. Riku probably beat one of the other two, like Yo, just because Yo always gonna have one like awkward loss like he fucking did to HG and SPL. And me saying this in the video, if he listens, is gonna make him like fucking drop the Pika emote on Discord. So you know what? Fuck you, EO. And yeah, EO will handle Donut. Probably one other guy. I think that EO is just the best player, followed by Donut. And the other two are kind of debatable. But yeah, I think that 3-0 or 2-1 for EO, probably 2-1. 2-1 probably for Donut. Although he has gone 0-3 the last two World Cups, so maybe Donut will tilt again. That would kind of amuse me, although it would also make me sad because then he'll like just be like fucking tilted out of World Cup forever. Honor, good player, did 3-0 last World Cup, even beat Toph. But he did get a bit lucky and he kind of fell off in SPL, went like 2-4. I like Honor, but I think he's going to go 1-2, and Riku just kind of a wild card. I don't know who's actually playing there. If it's Riku or M-Dragon or fucking his girlfriend from SPL. So I will say 1-2, just kind of a conservative middle of the pack estimate. And finally, we have Christos 21, Philip 7086, Deep Blue Sea, and Void. Void is going to probably be my favorite, just I don't know what position Phil is in at the moment. But if Phil is like in full form, then he's my favorite. So I'm going to say both Phil and Void go 2-1, and then Christos probably 0-3 and Deep Blue Sea 1-2 or 2-1. Christos isn't bad though. I could see him taking a game off of Deep Blue Sea, or if like Phil's like really rusty, him too. I just don't know what state Phil's in at the moment. People are saying that he's active, so let's say I think he's the favorite, followed by Void. But both are great. I think Void's underrated. I think Void kind of proved himself at the end of SPL, and I was predicting against him myself, but he won really important games, so good for him. Void's solid. But yeah, that about wraps up what I have to say in terms of predictions. But I'm gonna go into some full team stuff in a minute if you give me a second. So I'm gonna pause this now. Right, so we're back. This is my article with Zamag. I'm just gonna use it to kind of predict where I feel each team is gonna end up. Just because someone really like PM me like individually, like, hey, could you like say with your predictions where you think the teams are gonna like kind of like end up? So I'm gonna do that for round one at least, and we'll see how it goes. Just because like if you people ask you to do shit and you like are already like doing pretty, why not? Anyway, this is the article. It's a cool article. I'd advise you to check it out. We posted about it. Sorry, my dimensions are kind of fucked. Anyway, as for Asia, the first team, just going alphabetically. Cool team. I think they've got some potential in SM and Chill Shadow. Tough Loras group, which is kind of rough. And I think they're old gens outside of GG Fan. especially given the ADV pool is just not superb. I think they're not going to make it out of round one, but I think that they can really fight and maybe edge their way. But I kind of rank them in the 12th, 13th team. I'm sorry, but it's hard. They've got a lot of rough matchups. I don't think they got the best draw today, but I do think there's potential there. And I think that their SM could actually end up going positive if they play the cards right. Brazil. This isn't a golden era Brazil team. I mean, a couple of key pieces are missing. You've got a lot in ADV, Sandcastle, and Black White. It just kind of feels weird. And then their SM kind of falls off into the top two. And you don't have Nintendi and Oras anymore either. But I think that they're going to be fighting for a playoff team, but ultimately end up just on the outside. I think they're going to be like 9th or 10th. But it would not be surprising if they end up making the playoffs. They do have the talent. It's just, I don't know if they're going to execute given that they haven't the past few years with arguably better rosters. However, they do have Odio Stahl on the bench, an S-Tour qualifier. So you never know with Rodeo Stahl. It's going to go down. Canada. This team is kind of fucked in a way. Like they have like the lineup with the talent, although this year it does kind of look a bit watered down, but they do have like some talent and they just never make it. Like no, I don't think it's going to be very different this year. I do think that they're going to get some wins in SM, even if they do have harder groups, especially FLCL's fucking death group. And Swapa's got some decent players. Bush Tush Meeps is facing Meeps and Jimmy Churchwick, so it's gonna be hard. And JYT is kind of in the middle of the group too. So yeah, I think they're gonna brand even in SM. And that's kind of rough because then Blunder probably gonna do well, but Tokyo Tom hard group. Solgi isn't a Jirachi's in ADV, but he's got a weaker group, so he'll probably do okay. Osgood playing Lavos and Solcata not going to be easy. And Genesis 7 RBY is not fantastic either, not bad either though. He's respectable, even underrated, but it's hard to see them really going positive in many groups. I think they're going to be 10th, 11th kind of. And I think that if they get wins in SM, then I think that's going to be different. So if someone like FLCL could kind of win that death group, or even Bush just JY Campbell swap, like if they could stand out, then I think they've got a legitimate chance of like not only doing that, but I think if they make it to the playoffs, then they're going to be dangerous. But they've got to get there, and I don't know if they will. I think they're kind of in the middle of the pack, so we'll see. In my opinion, Europe is a playoff team. They've got a pretty solid lineup all around. Isa and GSC hasn't played in the tournament in a while. They met last World Cup where I know he kind of had a rough showing, but I think he'll do okay. And especially considering Jimmy Churchwick is there to support him, kind of other way around rollovers from SPL. Although Jimmy now in SM, I think their SM is actually really good, and I think they also got some decent pairings. So that's cool. And I think Void, We Three Kings, Metal Gross all solid, especially the former two. And Zoro Dark, if he's not like tilting still, he'll do well. And I mean, solid players on the bench. Mana coming round two will be starting. I think that they're a potential team to go to the Final Four, but at least make playoffs. Although they are missing their former captain Tony Flygon, which is highly unfortunate. I love Tony, but yeah, I think he's pretty busy, so that makes sense. I'm sure he'll still be around in the background, rooting them on. France, another team that's pretty much a lock for the playoffs most year. I think they missed 1 year, some absurd unluckiness, which was unfortunate. But yeah, in terms of raw talent, I think they're the second or third best team. But I think that they're probably going to lose in round one or two of playoffs just because that's just kind of their fate. I mean, you see their best finish was top four in 2011. Like, I think that's basically what they're going to get. If not, then even worse, top eight, just like they have the past like 5 years or 4 years, whatever. They're just kind of cursed in World Cup. But I think if they get it all together, they can make a run to the finals. And if not, they're going to struggle once they do indeed make the playoffs. I think they'll make the playoffs pretty comfortably. They've got a good lineup, great SM, even depth all around. Like Corazon is actually a pretty solid SM sub. Keenan could play GSC's freaking in DPP Cup still. Kickasser, if he like actually shows up as a person, can help in SM or us. Remedy, Black White, DPP, or us, probably SM too, although he's really quirky all around. And Redemption I've seen around his mic tour is probably okay too. Obviously, Ojama's one of the best ADV players. Raspberry is the kind of question mark to me, but he'll probably be all right. Maybe 1-2. McMegan's great. I mean, this is a good lineup outside of, well, Yara's not bad. He's just not great, and he kind of fucks around. So, but yeah, it's a good team. It's just I don't think they're gonna get far in the playoffs, just given history. Um, Germany is just kind of a really fucked up, watered down version of what you expect out of Germany. And I guess Matter of the Dark One is starting. Oh, that's who. Okay. Yeah, Rin is out. Okay. Yeah, this team just I don't see them being that great. I think they're going to struggle to get wins in SM, and then Pastor G's in ADV death pool more or less. I think he'll actually take a game or two. Like, especially, I think he'll beat Winsong. I think he might be one of the big two of Mathematitos no Jama, but it's gonna be hard. And GSC, over the head, and Lush, he's good. He'll do well. But yeah, this is gonna be hard for Germany. I think they're gonna end up on the outside looking in. I don't really know what to say about Greece. They've got some cool players, but I just don't know enough about guys like Bluebird 252, CBU, Christos 21, although he was on my ROAPL team, so I could say a bit. But yeah, I just don't know enough. But just look at their lineup. I think they're going to end up on the outside as well, but it's going to be close. I think that they could really make another run like they did a couple years ago, but very well may end up like last year as well and end up on the outside. So we'll have to wait and see. Not great team, but not horrible either. Italy, they made the playoffs the last couple of years, and I think they're going to do that again. They've got a good lineup, very Italian. Wow. um, yeah, no, I think that Empo is just kind of on a tear lately, and he's an addition to this team, so that's cool. I think that they're probably going to make the final four. Well, they're probably going to make the final eight. Definitely going to make the final eight, maybe the final four. And depends they get in round one drawing wise. But yeah, I think they've got a good lineup all around. Even Bomber's been doing well lately. Slimzo, probably the weakest slot aside from maybe Santu. But overall, I think they're solid. Wait and see. Yeah, no, they've even got depth. A decent bench. Troller can play whatever. Morano's not bad at SM. Kebab and LML beat me in a spot. Beat someone I know in a Smugco recently. I don't know if he's good. Mixed made Smugco playoffs, and Rexus is horrible. So yeah, this is a decent team. Not bad, not bad. Definitely gonna make playoffs in my opinion. LA, yeah, I think they're a borderline playoff team. I think I have them around eighth or ninth. Aristella, oh, true. Oops, I think that's probably my doing, but maybe it was their doing, the HTML, GPP play, whatever it is. I don't really care about the O. I'm just glad they helped us so much with this article. The people who did this are fucking fantastic, and I love them. Their DPP through GSC is going to end up not really winning many games, maybe one or two games collectively, and SM4 is the problem. But the rest of their lineup, I think, all pretty much can go positive. So even Aristella, I think, is going to win a game maybe or two. So yeah, it's hard to say, but I think they're a bit ahead of like Canada slightly, but not by much. And I think that that's like the winner of the playoff, not playoff kind of area for me. OCN, this team is not great. They've got this BAB thing kind of going, but can't say I'm sold. Their SM not going to win more than 4 or 5 games, but their old gens from black and white to GSC are great. But the thing is that I don't know if that's going to be able to carry them, considering that Linear got a pretty hard group, if I recall correctly. Smurf, me, and Peachy, so hands full. I'll probably win a couple games, though. I think Smurf's going to do okay. And even Bab, he's gotten Tama. And I mean, who knows? I don't know if Worms is in form. I mean, Worms is Worms. He'll win at least 2 games. Okay, but like, I just don't think they've got enough. I think that they're about where Asia is, maybe a bit above that. But yeah, I don't view them that highly. I think they're going to struggle. Although this is a funny screenshot with these three avatars right now. Spain probably the best, if not the second or third best team in the tournament roster wise. I don't really understand what they're doing with Raikou and whatnot. And their lineup is weird right now. But they'll get the playoffs and then they'll stop fucking around with their lineup. Although they do have Solwind and Black White in their actual lineup, which is a real step up from K12. But yeah, Solwind, Axel, Poick, Trosco, K12, Malphite, all good players. And Spain is a good team. They're going to make playoffs for sure. They'll be one of the top 3 or 4 seeds. I mean, the seeding doesn't really matter a ton. I think they're going to make it at least to the final four, if not then to the finals too. Great team, Spain, honestly, all around. UK, yeah, one of the weaker teams for sure, in my opinion. I think they've got some cool dudes like Tox. I like, used to be my friend. Triangle's great dude. Ace Matter is wacky. I fucking love to see him talk and play, but he kind of does some weird shit. Bad Dummy is kind of whack too. I want to see what he does in Oras. I don't think they've got the talent, especially without the likes of P2. And yeah, I think they're going to struggle to win any games in SM, to put it bluntly. So we'll have to wait and see. Yeah, I think they're bottom of the pack roughly, maybe around where like Asia is, maybe below. U.S. Midwest, I think is wow. What the fuck is Dice's avatar? Holy shit! I'm sorry, children of the internet. regardless, I think that U.S. Midwest roster is great, but I am so biased about them. I know other people think they suck. I think they're going to be middle of the pack, though. I think they're kind of like 9, 10, probably beat out of playoffs, and I think if they really execute, they can make it. But they're relying a lot on newer players such as Avon, Ultra Balls, and I mean Miltank Milk is new to singles. So yeah, I think there are old generations from Dice and EU are both going to do well, but Winsong is probably going to struggle considering his pool. I think 378 will go 2-1, beating Arafin and Ichjad at least. I'm not going to comment on him versus BKC actually. Nails is Nails. Will probably go 2-1, 1-2. Yeah, I think this team is kind of middle of the pack. And here's hoping that they end up overachieving because I like these guys and I think that they've got a lot of things going for them. So we'll have to wait and see how that goes. Good luck, my boys. Hey, this team. Their black white players are really fucking. Oh, not all. The black white players are fucking stud, man. I love this guy. Anyway, I think West is last. Yeah. Oh no, South. Oh, South is a playoff team in my opinion. They also got off to a solid start. Solcata is not only 1-0, but he's 1-0 against the likes of the one and only Level Spawn, who will be on the next team we cover. But anyway, this roster is solid. I think they're probably contender for the top four, but certainly a playoff team in my eyes. They've just got depth up and down. Their lineup is a bit different. They've got Peachy in black white, TDK in Oras, and they have Donut in DPP. In my opinion, is proper. Although you could argue Donut in GSC, but after today, so got to be Lavos. I think this is the right one. I'm not huge on Staff and Energy, but I don't think Staff is starting. I think FMG is, and Energy is just a good enough overall player. That's fine. K-Dot's a great utility man. Badass can step in and play whatever. Mop is Mop, and JSOC is fire. So yeah, finally, US West. This is just kind of a shell of what US West used to be. They lost a lot of the guys, and I mean Valentine isn't even starting. Like YJHs and Blarg and I don't know. It just feels weird. And I mean Meru RBY not great. I played him in RBY tour and I kind of got lucky against him. He's not bad though. I think I'll probably like go 1-2. Lavos already lost the game. He's their best player, so that's awkward. And Blight, you don't know what to fucking expect. Still, if he's in form, could go 3-0, sure. Lax and Black White might be in over his head, but he's been tearing it up in NU lately. So sure, he'll probably win a game or two. PM2 is great. Samog is solid, and then it's just like you don't know. It's just kind of awkward. Um, I don't know what to expect, but I think they're actually going to find their way in outside looking in. Just unlike previous West teams. I'm sorry, but I just don't think they're a great team anymore. I think they lost some depth. I think that if you gain undisputed next year, they'll probably be looking closer to playoffs, especially if Bengay comes back and like Jacob too. Well, Jacob's not great, but it's something. But yeah, they lost a bit, and that's unfortunate. But anyway, yeah, no, that's that. Thanks to everyone for everything with this article, and thanks to you guys for listening if you're still at this point. I'm gonna call it here. Hope this guy was cool. It's Finch. Peace.